Hello Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ Marino and today we have a movie review. I'm going to be talking about the Disney movie Jungle Cruise. For a ride, hell, for a theme park I've never been to, this is a pretty fun movie. I don't have a big history with Disney. I review their movies, I like some of their movies, I don't like some of their movies, but I've never been to the theme parks. I've never been a Disney kid, so I'm not familiar with Jungle Cruise. That made me a little bit nervous going into the film because I'm like, what the hell is this going to be about? I have no frame of reference. I've heard people talk about it, but I don't know for myself. Thankfully, that kind of goes to prove you don't need to know the ride to enjoy this film. I found Jungle Cruise to be a very entertaining, kind of a family film. There's darker tones to it. There's an adventure vibe. This has a lot going for it that I was genuinely surprised about. This makes me think of movies like Secret of the Incas or African Queen from the 50s or 80s movies like Indiana Jones and Romancing the Stone, or hell, even the 90s, 2000s with movies like The Mummy. This is a pure action adventure film, and we don't get a lot of these often these days. The film stars Dwayne Johnson as Skipper, Emily Blunt as Lily, Jack Whitehall as McGregor. We also have Jesse Plemons and Édgar Ramírez playing some pretty villainous characters. I love all of these characters getting to work together, getting to kind of play some fun, really detailed roles. I was really impressed with people like the Lily character. Emily Blunt really offers a lot. She is an adventurous girl who doesn't really like that society isn't ready for women to be adventurers. She's there with her brother McGregor, who is a bit of a dandy man, who is a bit of a fun character as well. They're joining the skipper on an adventure. That's what I really like. It's a simple, easy to follow story. We have these three characters trying to go, bring this arrowhead to a certain location, and there's bad guys following them. That's all you need to know, and that's all the movie really tries to do. There's some weird backstory moments that are, kind of takes up some time. Maybe you could have trimmed a couple of the backstory stuff to make this like 10, 15 minutes shorter, but I really liked what was presented here. It's just a fun, easy, in and out story, and there wasn't a lot that I'm like, okay, what am I gonna get into? What are we doing with the Jungle Cruise stuff? For fans of it, I had people there with me at this press screening who said the beginning of this felt very much like the ride. So there is the homages to the ride, but it goes above and beyond that. It tells a unique and interesting story. I've seen stuff like this before, like this kind of adventure in the jungle is done before. It's not breaking new territory, but the way it's handled, the way it's done, I'm really impressed with Disney here. They added different layers to this. They didn't just kind of make a cheap, easy movie based on their ride. They tried to do something original. They tried to build a universe. I'm not saying I want a whole franchise out of this, but I could see them exploring this more. They presented a fun, interesting world with some really solid characters. Like I said, I liked Emily Blunt's Lily character. Jack Whitehall's McGregor was pretty interesting. I was kind of nervous about him, but his character grew. And Dwayne Johnson as the skipper, I am not usually a Dwayne Johnson person, but he was charismatic here. He's always charismatic, but his charisma was really great. It was a fun, solid performance from him. Altogether, everyone worked great. And then Jesse Plemons is playing a villain from the 50s. I compared it to 50s movies. He is this over-the-top bad guy he's a pure mustache-twirling baddie, and I love that. Disney struggles with villains these days, and I don't think they make good villains that are just evil, and this guy was evil, and I like that. Édgar Ramírez's character is a little bit layered, a little bit more of he's a villain, but he has more to say with his character, so I do enjoy that, but I do love everyone that's presented. How even Paul Giamatti has like a small little role here that's memorable. This is a solid story, a solid cast, and I will say I'm impressed. What really impressed me is the technical aspects of this movie, which is not what I would walk away thinking, and I mean technical by stuff like the score, the cinematography, some of the VFX. I don't think the CGI is 100% great. I saw it the first time at home, and I was just like, this looks great. Seeing it on a big screen, I can kind of point out the flaws a little bit there with some of the visual effects, but I thought the cinematography was striking. The way it used colors, the way it used attempting at using natural light. I know Disney didn't really film out in a jungle, but I really like what they tried to do with the look and feel of this film. It felt like a classic Disney film. It felt like a classic movie in general. This was truly a throwback, and it goes to that cinematography, but it's also that score. Oh my goodness, I was really impressed with the score. It's so nostalgic. It reminds me of movies from the 50s and 60s, that classic, very like adventurous vibe. I think everything after Pirates of the Caribbean has sounded like Pirates of the Caribbean when we're doing adventures. Everyone wants that Zimmer score, and I understand, like I get it, but I like that this felt fun and nostalgic without being too cheesy and old school. This whole movie rode a line. Some of like the little practical effects, like when Dwayne Johnson's doing the Jungle Cruise scene, and like you getting him kind of doing the fake traps and fake stuff around it. I love the cheesy practical effects. I really loved his cheesy jokes throughout the movie. I'm a sucker for a bad pun, and he delivered on them. So yeah, I just like the aesthetic, the vibe, and what they captured here. This felt so classic and stuff. A lot of newer Disney movies have like this fake sheen and this gloss to it. I think of like the Aladdin movie or the Beauty and the Beast movie. They just don't feel like anything's on a real set. Jungle Cruise does slip into that at times, but then there's times I'm just lost in this jungle and I'm like, this looks great, this feels great, I feel like I'm there, and it's hard to capture that vibe, but the director of this film, who I personally love because he did The Shallows, if you've never seen that really cheesy shark movie, I love it. So yeah, to see him do this and what he's presented here, this is strong, great work, and I am happy to say that I actually liked a Disney movie. I've liked a couple this year. Am I broken? Oh my goodness, I can't believe I've given another positive review, but hey, before you guys call me a Disney shill, I've never been to their theme parks, I don't really like their movies, aside some of the ones this year, so I'm not a shill, I just appreciate a fun, adventurous movie. If you're a fan of things like Indiana Jones and the 90s Mummy, you would definitely enjoy Jungle Cruise. I had a good time with it, the critics around me did, and I hope you do as well. Alright everyone, what did you think of this review? What do you think of Jungle Cruise? Are you a fan of the ride? Are you curious about seeing this movie? Let me know down in the comments below. Subscribe to Flickering Myth because we make videos like this every single week, and give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Alright everyone, let's talk about Jungle Cruise down below.